I want to talk about um, the scenario that we discussed. There's a global energy service company based in, I think they're out of Singapore. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Can,
Sure.
can you can you tell us what's happening there?
Yeah, this is an existing customer of ours. It's a global environment. The Singapore logistics team reached out, and they've had ongoing projects that were in the digital transformation area, but still very heavy print in that environment today. And they have a key business process that involves multiple documents going into shipping process. And one of those documents is the customer invoice. And the process today is for the manager to then review the list, print out that customer invoice, and then sign it and affix a company stamp or chop, as they would say in Singapore. And so that is a manual process. There's also then somebody who has to gather up the different materials to make sure that it goes out in the proper form and order. And we were contacted because with the ongoing stay-at-home policies and multi-shifts, we were contacted to see what could we do to automate and make that signature process and stamp digital. And so that's where we were brought in. This is still an ongoing exercise, and we have a partner also in play there. So we're having those discussions. And I think that initially it was really tactical, what they were trying to do, and that was to try to assist not having to bring people in. And I think Chris mentioned, workforce, key people having to visit the office to do something. So that was the original tactical intent, but it has broadened from there in terms of conversations.
Matt, your scenario reminds me of another situation that we're dealing with today. I want to ask you a follow-up question here in a moment. In this, here in the States, it's one of the largest wholesale grocery distributors in the country. So they distribute, every day they have a fleet of trucks that are delivering goods to the largest grocers in the country. So you can imagine they're terribly busy. Well, this distributor received calls from the grocery market chains. So they received a call saying, please tell your drivers we no longer want any paper relating to the delivery, like the bills of lading, inventory, invoices, anything pertaining. We need you, the wholesale distributor, to deliver that to us electronically. So similar to the examples that you described and what Ava described earlier about transforming that output that's really destined to a printer, make that electronically available, and also support mobility, because now I have truck drivers on the road that still need access to that content. They need to know what their schedules are, what locations do I need to deliver next. And so to put this in the form of a question, and I guess we'll pose this to the group, is in that particular case that I just described, that was a scenario that was really driven. It was a requirement that was driven by our client, the wholesale distributors, by their customers. So it was an external motivation to change. And I'm wondering for you all, where did the requirement to change come from? Was it an externally driven requirement, or is it something that really stemmed internally? Matt, maybe you could kick that off.
Yeah, I think the initial focus, I would say, is internal, right? Because they were trying to make this process, the manual process, become more automated and eliminate the need to have somebody physically sign a document and stamp it. I think that the fact that they're dealing with both internal customers and external customers in terms of shipments, they've already been discussing how this document now today, it's been transformed into a PDF. They're still printing it. That's downstream. So there's already been some discussions about how can they move that further into a digital transformation. And they're already kind of well on the way in terms of distribution, logistics, in terms of blockchain and all those digital transformation concepts. So I think we're moving in that direction, and that's where it's tactical to strategic. It's both internal today, but it's moving to external in the future.